Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Dewi Amelia Furyu Ningsih and my registration number is A1M219087. Here, I want to explain about ambiguity, paraphrase, antonyms, and polysemous. I will explain that one by one. For the first one, I will explain about ambiguity. Ambiguity or taxation is a grammatical unit in the form of a phrase or sentence that has multiple meanings or two meanings that occur as a result of the interpretation of different grammatical structures. In spoken language, this double interpretation will not occur because the grammatical structure that is spoken will be assisted by elements of intonation. Nah, jadi ambiguitas atau ketaksaan adalah satuan gramatikal dalam bentuk frasa atau kalimat yang bermakna ganda atau memiliki dua arti yang terjadi sebagai akibat dari penafsiran struktur gramatikal yang berbeda. Kata ambiguitas ini diserap dari bahasa Inggris, yakni ambiguity yang berarti suatu konstruksi yang dapat ditafsirkan lebih dari satu arti. Next, there are several factors that influence the occurrence of ambiguity in grammatical units. Namely, 1. There are no conjunction and prepositions. 2. The order of the elements differs from the usual order. 3. Different intonation. 4. The use of polysemous word. And the last, improper sentence structure. Next, grammatical units that experience ambiguity have the following characteristic. 1. Words used in constructing grammatical units have multiple meanings or more than one meaning. 2. The grammatical units arranged are difficult to interpret or confuse the reader because they are not easy to understand. And the last, causing doubt or may result in the misunderstanding for readers trying to understand it. Based on its constituent grammatical units, ambiguity is divided to 3 with the following details. Namely, 1. Phonetic ambiguity. Phonetic ambiguity occurs because the sounds of a language that can be pronounced are mixed together. Nah, jenis ini terbentuk ketika suatu kata atau kalimat dilafalkan terlalu cepat sehingga mengakibatkan makna yang kurang meyakinkan. Ambiguitas fonetik terjadi saat adanya persamaan bunyi kata ketika terucap. 2. Grammatical ambiguity. Grammatical ambiguity occurs during the formation process at the level of morphology or morphemes and words, and syntax or phrase, clause, and sentence. Nah, pada tatanan morfologi, ambiguitas mengakibatkan perubahan makna, sedangkan di tataran sintaksis, ambiguitas muncul pada frasa, klausa, dan kalimat yang memiliki tafsiran lebih dari satu pengertian ketika mengkombinasikannya. The last is lexical ambiguity. Lexical ambiguity includes polyvalence, unclear boundaries of the meaning of a word, and the use of figurative language. Nah, ambiguitas ini menyebabkan makna dari teks utuh dapat berbeda tergantung pada konteks kalimat. Ambiguitas leksikal sering digunakan sengaja untuk membuat permainan kata yang bisa dilihat dari dua sisi, yaitu polysemy dan homonym. Next, an example of the meaning of ambiguity. 1. Quote from a newspaper which has published on August 22, 2007 with the headline Second Life of Bird Flu. The title can have many meanings such as meaning 1, bird flu has 2 lives. Meaning 2, bird flu has taken the life of the second person, or there has been a second victim. 2. Taken from a newspaper which was published on November 26, 2007 with the headline Children Beaten by Revenge Conglomerate. The meaning 1, son of a conglomerate who has beaten and then his parents took revenge. And the meaning 2, a child used to be beaten by a conglomerate and his relative takes revenge on the conglomerate. The third example, taken from a newspaper which has published on June 19, 2007 with the headline Officer Checks ID Card Secured. The meaning 1, the officer in charge of checking the identity card that is secured, and the meaning 2, the examiner's identity card is secured or confiscated. And for the second one, I will explain about paraphrase. Okay, paraphrase comes from the Latin paraphrasis and Greek paraphrasein, which both have the same meaning, namely additional ways of expression. In general, paraphrasing is a form of restating a grammar, sentence, or a statement by using a simpler diction without changing the meaning of the language. Nah, jadi paraphrase itu adalah bentuk pengungkapan kembali suatu tata bahasa, kalimat, atau pernyataan dengan menggunakan diksi yang lebih sederhana tanpa mengubah makna dari bahasa tersebut. Parafrasa biasanya digunakan oleh para penulis untuk terhindar dari tindakan plagiarisme dengan cara memberikan kutipan tidak langsung dari teks aslinya. Hal ini dilakukan oleh penulis dengan menggunakan teknik parafrasa, merupakan sesuatu yang tidak melanggar hukum karena penulis hanya menulis ulang ide tersebut dengan kalimatnya sendiri. Next, the purpose of paraphrase. There are several purposes of paraphrase, namely 1. Avoid plagiarism. Nah, jadi parafrasa itu bisa menghindarkan penulis dari praktik plagiarisme. Plagiarisme adalah aktivitas menjiplak yang melanggar hak cipta. Aktivitas tersebut bisa dikategorikan pencurian dan pemalsuan karya orang lain. 2. Ideas are easier to understand. Nah, jadi penulis dengan menggunakan teknik parafrasa mampu membantu menyebarluaskan kembali informasi sumber dengan bahasa yang mudah agar bisa dimengerti oleh banyak orang. Nah, the last is rewriting with a new sentence arrangement but has the same meaning. Ungkapan ini sering digunakan dalam konteks ini untuk menyiratkan bahwa penulis telah menulis ulang teks dengan gaya penulisan mereka sendiri, sebagaimana mereka akan menuliskannya jika mereka yang menciptakan ide tersebut. Next is the types of paraphrase. There are several types of paraphrase, namely 1. Equivalent paraphrase. Equivalent paraphrase are often called lexical paraphrase. Equivalent paraphrases are paraphrases between lingual units that have a very close resemblance in meaning. 2. Paraphrase, the antonym of the circle. The antonym paraphrase of denial is a lingual form that has the nature of denial. Antonym itself means two words that have different meanings. However, in this paraphrase, the antonyms have the opposite and opposite properties. 3. Generic specific paraphrases. Generic specific paraphrasing is an activity to paraphrase lingual units by substituting equivalent words that still have the same synonyms. This can happen because a word that has meaning can be symbolized by more than one different symbol. 4. Amplification paraphrasing. Amplified paraphrases are lingual repetition and provide additional information in lingual units in the paraphrase. The addition of this information is done by providing detailed information from the sentence or that will be paraphrased. Next, contract paraphrase. Contractual paraphrasing is a type of paraphrasing that is done by reducing information in lingual units. This lingual reduction can be done by abbreviating words units without changing the meaning or phrase. The last is summary paraphrase. A summary paraphrase is a type of paraphrasing by summarizing lingual units with outer languages. Paraphrasing is different from summarizing. This is because paraphrasing is a technique of presenting such ideas in your own words, while summarizing is summarizing the author's focus with sentence structure according to the first author's idea. Next, the characteristics of paraphrasing activities are 1. Paraphrasing has a different language utterance from the original text before it is paraphrased. 2. Has a language delivery technique that is different from the original source. And 3. The meaning and content of the speech doesn't change from the original source. Next is the paraphrasing activity has the steps, namely 1. Read or listen to the text carefully. 2. Mark and find the meaning of difficult words. 3. Look for the meaning of omitted or allusive words by the author. 4. Look for the main idea of the article. 5. Punctuate. 6. Arrange sentence in paragraph form. And the last, reread paraphrased text. For the next, I will explain about antonyms. Antonyms are words that have opposite meanings. For example, an antonym of day is like, and the antonym of on is off. The term antonym comes from antonymy, which is the technical grammar term from words that have contradictory meanings, but you can think of antonyms as opposites. Next is the purposes of antonyms. Antonyms have several purposes, namely 1. Comparisons. Antonyms are great for comparing two separate things and drawing attention to what makes them different. If you are writing a research paper that compares two topics, using pairs of antonyms can better communicate which sets them apart. 2. Description. Sometimes the best way to describe something is explain what it isn't. Using antonyms with a negative can add new dimension to your description and improve your writing word choice. 3. Antithesis. Antithesis is a literary device that directly harnesses the power of opposites by placing them next to or near each other. As mentioned above, antonyms draw attention to what makes things different, making each word seem stronger. Next is types of antonym. There are several types of antonyms, namely 1. Complementary antonyms. Complementary antonyms, also known as binary antonyms or contradictory antonyms. Complementary antonyms are word pairs where the positive use of one means the negative use of the other. For example, on is antonyms of off. Real, the antonyms is fake. Alive, the antonyms is dead. 2. Gradable antonyms. Gradable antonyms also known as polar antonyms. Gradable antonyms are opposite amounts of the same quality. For example, new, the antonyms of old; hot, the antonyms of cold, and long, the antonyms of short. 3. Relational antonyms. Relational antonyms, also known as converse antonyms. Relational antonyms play opposite roles in a mutual relationship. For example, by, the antonyms of shall; left, the antonym of right; and parent, the antonym of child. Next is antonyms and prefix. In English, antonyms are often used with prefixes, small syllables of around 1 to 3 letters that attach to the beginnings of words to change their meaning. There are a few prefixes that reserve a word's meaning turning into its opposites. Here are some common prefixes used with antonym pairs along with their example. Each of these prefixes essentially changes a word's meaning to its opposite. One is prefix dis. The main word is honest, to dishonest. The main word is appear and to disappear. Agree to disagree. Next is I. The words logical to illogical, the words legal to illegal, and the words responsible to irresponsible. 3 is are, in, and im. The word possible to impossible, the word decent to indecent, and discreet to indiscreet. Next, non. The word believer to non-believer, the word binary to non-binary, linear and to non-linear. Next is mis. The word lead to mislead, the word behave to misbehave, and the word fortune to misfortune. Next is small. The word function to malfunction, nutrition to malnutrition, and adaptive to maladaptive. And the last is un. The word important to unimportant, necessary to unnecessary, and likely to unlikely. The last, I will explain about Polysemous. Polysemous is a linguistic term that refers to words, phrases, or symbols that have multiple meanings or interpretation. Polysemous phenomena occur when a single word or expression has several related meanings, often arising from historical change in language, use, and contents. The next, Polysemous can be divided into several types based on the relationship of meaning between the various related meanings. Here are some types of Polysemous. 1. Vertical polysemy occurs when several meanings of a word from a hierarchy are described a scale from the more general to the more specific. For example, the word animal can refer to a general class of animals or to specific animals that live in a certain area. 2. Horizontal polysemy occurs when the various meanings of the word do not have a hierarchical relationship but have a more parallel relationship. For example, the word stone can refer to a specific mineral stone or to a stone used as a building material. 3. Metonymic polysemy occurs when a word or its original meaning is used to refer to something else related to it. For example, the word Supreme Court can refer to a specific judicial institutions or to legal decisions issued by the body. For metaphoric polysemy, occurs when the meaning added to a word comes from a comparison or allusion to something else. For example, the word cat is used to refer to animal cat and can also refer to a woman who is graceful or cunning based on comparison of qualities of a cat with those traits. Next, generalized polysemy occurs when the basic meaning of a word develops into a variety of more specific or related meanings. For example, the word hand can refer to the part of human body used to research for an object, or to the uppermost part of clock or other device. Next, specialized polysemy occurs when the additional meaning of the word only applies in a certain context or in a certain field. For example, the word computer in common parlance refers to an electronic device that is used to process data, but in the language of computer science, it can also refer to a program that performs as a specific task. Next is narrowing polysemy. Occurs when the meaning of a word is narrower than its original meaning. For example, the word assistance originally referred to a person who helps, but in some contexts, its meaning can narrow down to personal assistant. The last is broadening polysemy. Occurs when the meaning of a word extends beyond its original meaning. For example, the word lamb originally referred to a female animal that had not yet given birth, but has since come to refer to sheep in general. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention. I close by saying, Billahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for watching.